We are in the month of May, and we have just found out. It's Greg Amsinger, Dan Plesac, Harold Reynolds. Tarik Skubal will indeed undergo elbow surgery. Loose bodies in the elbow. We have lots of details to pass along. We're still wrapping our minds around this. This is the two-time defending AL Cy Young Award winner. He's going to undergo arthroscopic surgery to remove loose bodies from his left elbow. A.J. Hinch announced no timetable for return just yet. Jeff Passan with more. Skubal will undergo surgery to remove loose bodies in his left elbow. Such procedures typically sideline players for 2 to 3 months. Skubal should return before season's end, but a tough blow for the impending free agent, two-time reigning AL Cy Young Award winner. Tarik Skubal actually addressed the media today. This is what he had to say.
Yeah, obviously if you go watch my outings, there's been some abnormal kind of arm shake stuff, so been dealing with some stuff, but I thought it was progressing and getting better. Yesterday I had something that kind of was different than what I'd been dealing with, and which led to kind of having some conversations with the training staff and AJ and trying to figure out what's going on, and wasn't very comfortable pitching today. So ultimately led to kind of getting a scan and seeing what's going on. From my understanding, you just go take it out. I think the length of the rehab is probably just getting your spring training build up again, getting your volume up. But the procedure itself, I think, is pretty simple. This is something that I've been dealing with all season, and it's good to kind of get an answer, honestly. It's good for my mentals to get an answer, to figure out what's going on. What I pride myself on is taking the ball every 5th day and giving our team a chance to win, and not being able to do that for whatever the timeline is. I don't have one, and I don't think it's fair to probably guess and create one right now. But yeah, it sucks. It sucks. I want to play baseball.
This will be the 3rd elbow surgery for Tarik Skubal. In 2016, he had Tommy John surgery when he was in college at Seattle University, then flexor tendon surgery in 2022, and now he's going to have a surgery to remove loose bodies from a guy, Dan, who is the definition of a workhorse in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, this is not good news for the Tigers, first of all, because they put all their chips in Tarik Skubal, right? The offseason, the arbitration case. It seems more than likely that this may be his final hurrah in Motown. And you look at the Tigers without Skubal, and I look at them entirely different than I do with Skubal. Now, with that said, this type of surgery and this type of injury, normally guys come back and they're no worse from the wear. The problem is when you get shut down in the 1st of May and you're going to have some inactivity. Should he? Yes, but there's always a question, will he be the same coming back as he was before when the season started? So if I'm a Tiger fan right now, I'm a little nervous because if I look at the Tigers and they get into the postseason, the thought of Skubal pitching twice or maybe 3 times in a series makes me feel really good. Without Skubal, I have a lump in my throat.
So here's my take on this as we look at their rotation as it currently stands.
This guy Casey Mize is out too, man.
Yeah. They've had some
no Verlander.
Brian Valdez, big signing right now.
Oh, my goodness.
They got a tough run. Hey, I look at it this way. This is why it's so problematic for the Tigers. One, he wins an arbitration case for $32 million. They didn't just push their chips, they got the fish in there as well. They fish and chip this thing because they're going for it, right? Instead of trading him because he's going to be a free agent at the end of the year. So the gamble was, well, if we're in it, which they felt like they were going to be, then we're going to keep him and make that run to the World Series. If they fall out of it, we'll trade him at the trade deadline. Problem now is the trade deadline is at the end of July. Really, this year it's August 3rd. So if you do the timeline, he may not be back before the trade deadline. You're going to trade him injured? Nobody's seen him? So they're stuck. So then the other thing about it is he's a free agent. And his agent, Mr. Scott Boras, is not going to let him pitch until he is 100%. I'm sorry. He's looking at the largest contract for a pitcher ever.
Is he still?
He's still in that mix.
I will say this.
He's sitting there, but I guarantee you he'll make sure that he's still there. He's not coming back early. This isn't a hurrah, get back, I'm going to help the team.
It's not just not come back early. The days of him throwing 120 pitches, the days of him pitching on short rests in the postseason, the days of him being the guy, hey, Tigers, jump on my back. The bullpen can take a rest. I'm getting those days are over. Yeah. His stuff might be the same when he comes back, but the Tarik Skubal, the aura of Tarik Skubal, at least with the Tigers, it will never be the same.
Yeah, and I think when you're talking about pitchers with elbows and shoulders.
This year, yeah.
You know, every player goes through a big-time physical before spring training starts. Elbows, shoulders, knees, everything, right? And the thing is, if you went in every pitcher's elbow and shoulder, you could say, hey, there could be a potential problem there. You know what I mean? So I'm just by gauging from his sound that, you know, he's had some issues, but most pitchers have something, achy elbow, something bothering your shoulder. And I'm not as alarmed by this because he's not the only pitcher. If you took 100 pitchers right now and you went and looked at a pitcher's elbow and did imaging, you could find something in those images to say, boy, you know, this could be a bone spur, this could be a chip. It comes with the territory of pitching.
So this actual surgery isn't all. I know a surgery is serious, but in the world of pitching, it's not all that serious.
If you're going to have surgery on your elbow or shoulder, this is the one you would sign up to have. Let's put it that way.
So let me ask you this, Dan, pitching perspective. I've had a sore arm before. No body's moving around inside and things like that. I didn't throw a ball as hard as you did, as often as you did. Did you feel things before?
Listen, once the season starts as a pitcher, you're constantly, whether you're driving your car, you're taking a shower, you're washing your hair, you're always moving your arm, and you feel a little bit of thing every bit now and then. You'll feel something in your elbow, and you're always tweaking and holding the ball a certain way. It doesn't hurt when I do this, but it hurts when I lift my arm that way. It hurts when I swing a golf club. No, it doesn't hurt when I throw, but sometimes when I'm picking up a suitcase or a luggage, you know, I feel a little tightness in there. It comes with the territory. And every pitcher on every team that has played any amount of time, once you get through the high school, the junior college, the college, and the minor leagues, that's when this stuff starts.
This news eliminates the idea that the Tigers are going to get a haul for Tarik Skubal in 2026. True or false?
True.
Probably true, yes.
100%.
Eliminates that. So now the best case scenario is the Tigers staff, without Skubal in it for the next 2 to 3 months, can keep them within striking distance of getting
and they're capable. They're capable.
Yeah, they're very capable.
They're going to get Mize back. They're going to get Verlander back. They're capable of doing that. I just think that, for me, the uniqueness of the situation is the timing, where he's got 2 to 3 months, they say, if everything goes right, for him to come back. Just do the math. He's not back for a trade deadline. Mm-hmm. And that's not going to help the Tigers.
I mean, there could be a team that's throwing a Hail Mary because it's Tarik Skubal, and they would trade for a guy that's still on the IL, but chances of getting a haul in return for a guy on the IL are slim to none. Yeah. Now, the crazy part is this was a weekend where there were so many injuries that took place that we just want to remind you of. Jacob Mizorowski left his start in the 6th inning on Friday, right hamstring cramp.
Threw about 99 miles an hour, and then the hamstring said,
He went 5 1/3 no-hit innings. Now, he was smiling when they took him out of the game. They were just being very precautious.
Did they catch it in time, Dan?
Yes. And a good thing on his part to bring it to their attention, because it could have been a potential problem.
Another hamstring injury. This one, a left hamstring strain. Ronald Acuña Jr. placed on the IL. That looked terrible as he was trying to get down the first baseline. That took place just yesterday. Another hamstring injury. This was right hamstring tightness to a pitcher, Ranger Suarez. He left his start on Sunday, and this is a guy that had strung together a couple good starts.
And just when you think it couldn't get worse for the Red Sox, it just did.
It just did. And now, if you're a Minnesota Twin fan and you're looking at your record, you go, well, at least we have Joe Ryan we can trade at the deadline and get a haul. He left yesterday's game. He got 1 out. Right elbow soreness, that's all we know as of now. Usually when pitchers cover their mouth with their glove, that's even worse. But Joe Ryan, who, if you were going to look at a list of pitchers, take Tarik Skubal off of it, and you want an ace at the trade deadline, Joe Ryan was going to be towards the top of that list. This is awful news for the Twins.
For the Twins, this is just as big of an injury as it is for Tarik Skubal.
For the Tigers, yes.
For the Tigers. I mean, if you're the Twins right now, you already have lost Paco Lopez for the year, right?
Pablo Lopez. Yeah.
You've lost Pablo for the year. And so the one chip, and we've talked about this the last couple of weeks, who would be the number one guy on the market right now, trade-like, if you're the Chicago Cubs and you're looking for a starting pitcher? Any team looking in late June, early July, looking for that guy, this was more than likely going to be the guy, him or possibly a guy like Sandy Alcantara of the Marlins.
Yeah.
And so I think for the Twins, this is a double dose of bad because, one, he is without a doubt one of the top pitchers in the American League. And two, if you're talking the same thing about Skubal, what could you get back for him? The Tigers organization is in a lot better shape personnel than the Twins is
The good news, though, they have one more year of Joe Ryan after this, whereas Tarik Skubal's a free agent at the end of the year. It's still bad news. But the Acuña injury for the Braves, as they're rolling right now in the NL East.
You know, the first thing I think about when I think about Acuña is he played all those games around the counter in winter ball, and then he had surgery. This time around, he played all the games in the WBC, and it was the way in which he played. This guy is not going to go halfway. You know, he's going to be all in. And I just, you know, watching him snatching bags, and it was the exuberance in which he did it. You know, always jumping up and down, celebrating, all these things. And it was the first time that I wanted to see how's that knee going to hold up. And sometimes he didn't even have the brace on.
No, you're right.
And so that was the big thing. The knee is holding up, but part of that is, as you know, you have an injury, it affects your whole body. How are the hamstrings going to hold up and the rehab to build them back and all those type of things? So this was an injury that is probably still attached to a couple years ago with the knee surgery.
I guess the interesting question is, do the Braves need him? I hate saying that, but they won a World Series without him. When you've got a guy like Michael Harris II, who is hitting in the bottom of your order because you've got the best leadoff hitter in the sport in Ronald Acuña Jr. Just look at the numbers this year. They should be okay.
Yeah. Well, one of the reasons Michael Harris got a lot of pitches to hit is because Acuña was coming up after him. You know, that's how that lineup works. But Michael can play with anybody. That is the riches of the Mets. I mean, of the Braves. So, yeah, you're going to miss Ronald Acuña, though. I'm going to miss him. I thought this was going to be an unbelievable year. I know Dan had him as the MVP, I think, or something like that, or maybe you did. Somebody did.
Not me.
It wasn't us.
I love Ronald Acuña.
Somebody.
I mean, we got to give the Braves some credit. 25-10. I'm not going to say they've blown the East wide open. 8.5 game lead.
Ahead of the Marlins.
8.5 game lead.
The Braves have all their all-stars playing at a high level.